I put 4 AIs in a room to fight over my work. One of them was wrong. I let them figure out which. Our skeptic just sent a reply to social media guy, sending this back. Now they're talking to each other, going this way. Reviewed the consensus of the room, wants to get one last skeptic pass. So we sent it over to Debbie, who is going to respond. In this video, I'm going to show you how separate Pi agents can talk to each other across sessions through Intercom. And this is really cool because it's not subagents within one parent workflow. It's separate sessions, different models, different perspectives, all talking to each other like in the same room having a conversation. This is kind of a continuation of what we've been talking about. The other day I dug into subagents, and subagents are super useful, very, very powerful workflows, but that's delegation, right? You got one main boss agent and it ships off different work to different agent specialists. They do their thing and then send the response back. That's awesome. And I've been using that pretty frequently since I implemented it, except this is completely different. Intercom lets agents talk to each other directly. There's no parent agent, no boss agent, right? There's no fixed hierarchical structure. It's all completely flat. The reason this matters is you can put different agents with different specialties, even different models in the same room working towards one common task, and they can stress test an idea, and you're not bottlenecked by the top hierarchy agent's perspective. So I'm going to show you the basic mechanic first, and then we'll walk through like one practical use case I can think of because I'm really stoked about this. Let's get after it. Okay, so real quick, just refresher, subagents are hierarchy, and that's not a bad thing. Hierarchy is useful when the task is really clear. Like if I know I need research or review, I can send it off to subagents to do the work and then bring it back to me without torching my main agent context, and that is awesome. Sometimes I don't need any of that. Let's just talk about the lowest hanging fruit in terms of practical execution, right? Sometimes you don't need execution. Sometimes you need judgment, right? Sometimes you need to know if an idea is even worth pursuing. So for example, I might need one agent talking about like clickability if I'm working on a YouTube video, one agent looking at the business value, one agent to even try and like kill the whole thing just to make sure that the final version is stronger. And then I don't know, maybe another model even coming in with a totally different instinct. And that's where this Intercom setup starts to make a lot of sense because these agents are peers. They can talk to each other directly. Best argument wins. Let's jump into it. I'm in my lean terminal here and my Obsidian vault. So what I don't want to do is separate terminal tabs. That is not what we're talking about. We're going to have these agents talk across different sessions, okay? So I could even run PowerShell outside of Obsidian. It would be the same thing, but for the sake of the video, we'll just keep it in the one window, okay? So what we're going to do is go split right or split down, and we're going to get 4 different windows. Just like this. These are 4 separate terminal sessions. Alternatively, you could use your command palette, Control P, to go to lean terminal and open new terminal in new pane, just like this. Then we're just gonna launch Pi in each of these, just like that. So the way that I've got this to work is you need to name each session so that it's easier for other Pi agents to find, right? So I'm just gonna do something silly. I'm just gonna go Pat Boone, you're Pat Boone, you're Debbie Boone, then you're gonna be Jack. Your name is Diane. Now we can see that the names for these sessions are set across all 4 different windows. This is really important because it makes it easy for the Pi agents to discover each other rather than the generic randomly generated bit of numbers. So I'm just gonna tell these guys, what's up? Your name's Pat Boone. We'll just say hello to each of these. Make sure the pipeline's working out here. All working, all going. The first part isn't any sort of practical use case. I just want to show you exactly what's going on. So I've got this prompt here. Use Intercom to list active sessions. Ping Pat and Debbie Boone. Ask Pat to wave at Jack. Ask Debbie to wave at Diane. Keep it short. Let's just go like this. Then it's going to find these other sessions. Intercom, current session. Sent a letter. Please wave at Jack. And now we can see all 4 of these windows talking to each other. From Diane. Waving at you from Jack's behalf. And then it says, hi, Debbie. Waving back. Waved at Diane. Waved at Jack. Perfect. These are all in the same room. Before I keep going with this, actually, I want to make sure that I like give credit where credit is due. I did not come up with Intercom. I wish I could say I did, but it's actually from this fella, Nico. He has a lot of really great Pi extensions, and the guy just seems like a winner. So I'll leave the link to his GitHub in the description. You can go check it out for yourself. Anyway, that's the mechanic, right? Tried to make it cute, stupid, but like now they all know each other and they're friends. The real practical application comes in when you start giving these agents different responsibilities and different models, okay? So let's change Debbie to Grok 4.1 fast. Let's change Diane to GLM 5.1, change Jack to Gemini 3.1. Let's keep Pat here at GPT 5.5. Obviously, you can use whichever models you want. In testing this, I used Nemotron off the top, and Nemotron is kind of a bully. I liked the conversational nature that it does, but it just like never stops talking. It's always trying to be like, oh, are you still okay? It's always pinging the other agents, and it does not serve the YouTube video very well. You might find that one agent still wants to like take control of the situation, which is okay. I really want to show you like a real test, but I want to keep it fairly low stakes so it's easy to comprehend, and then you can sort of imagine where we go from here. But the starting idea is really simple. I'm going to critique the video I'm currently filming. And I'm going to be like, okay, so the idea is my agents can talk to each other now. The question is this worth talking about? Or is this just like a neat terminal trick, right? I'm going to use that and we're going to pit these agents against each other in terms of finding the best and most interesting or most relevant angle for this particular use case. So step one would be giving each agent sort of its assigned task and give it an idea as to like what we're working on. Baseline ideas, okay? So for Debbie, I'm going to say Debbie is going to be the critical one. No, just because I am, okay? Just no more questions. You're going to be given some information on a video proposal from your peers in this room. Your job is to be critical and find holes in the logic, maybe approach this from a lateral different perspective to improve the overall output. There you go. That's Debbie's job, or sorry, Diane's job, pardon me. Let's say Debbie's job is to research. We'll give it a similar prompt. You're going to be given some information on a video proposal from your peers in this room. Your job is to research trends related to that topic and see if the angle aligns with what is currently popular. So that's her job. I don't hate Gemini for writing. So let's say that Jack's job is coming up with the overall pitch. Okay, so we're going to get our ideas. We're going to research what's up. We're going to poke holes in it, and Jack is going to put the package together, okay? You are going to be given some information on a video proposal from your peers in this room. Your job is to come up with the angle for social media. There you go. There's Jack. And Papoon is going to review the consensus, okay? You're going to be given some information on a video proposal from your peers in this room. Your job is to review the consensus and confirm that each agent is happy with the final output. So we're going to say yes to all of these. Grok 4.1 fast is deprecated. Well, lame. I liked Grok. Let's go Grok 4.2. There you go. Okay, so we're going to give it information and roll. So you see how they're sending like messages to each other from Debbie Boone, mostly agree on the work angle. It's going to go and just like do its best to like bounce these back and forth. We're going to agree on a different consensus. Our skeptic just sent a reply to our social media guy. Jack sending this back. Great. Now they're talking to each other going this way. So our guy Pat Boone has now reviewed the consensus of the room, wants to get it one last skeptic pass. So we sent it over to Debbie, who is going to respond to our friend Pat here. We got this message from Diane. Pat's confirming consensus, sending it off to these other two guys. Okay, awesome. Final consensus and reviewed. So there you go. Everybody's in agreement. We said confirmed, final agent alignment, approved, approved, approved. Worth filming, yes. Title, I put 2 AIs in a room to fight over my work. One of them was wrong. I let them figure out which. So the cool thing is that each of these agents had their own special tasks that they executed and bounced ideas back and forth, landing on something that was output by the one agent here in the corner. Something that I noticed in running this test is that GLM 5.1 is significantly slower than the other ones. So it was actually like a speed bottleneck when our skeptic agent was a little bit behind everybody else. So I found that there was some lag, but we still got there. So I think maybe like use models of comparable capabilities and especially like comparable speed might make it a little bit smoother. But the other thing is that this setup doesn't magically make a better output. Like if you put like these 4 agents and they're all in agreement and there's no friction, you're just gonna have 4 agents nodding at each other the entire time. We've all seen that with like the front-facing consumer version of ChatGPT where it's just like the biggest yes man that ever was. You know, you'll give it some stupid idea and it's just like, you're the best. So that's like super not helpful. You need friction and you need conflict. These agents need to know that they're working together, sure, but like somebody needs to be there to break the idea and we all need to be working towards the better output. And that needs to be like explicitly mentioned to these different workers, you know? The second thing I noticed was the temporary leadership, and that even popped up in this particular instance as well, where our skeptic agent was like, no, I'm in charge. Even though it was like lagging behind in terms of compute. It wasn't as bad as Nemotron when I was testing that one. Like Nemotron just wouldn't let the conversation die. Like there was no consensus when it was part of the, you know, panel. So I think what I'm getting at with that is you need to test these different models and agents and find their strengths, right? Like I want to make sure that the skeptic agent is actually offering critiques and then realizing when it's like done rather than just like critiquing at every instance. Or we need another agent to be like, okay, overall, this looks like we were all on the same page, you know? Anyway, like I said, the temporary leadership isn't always a bad thing because the project might just need more of whatever that agent's special task was at the time. But like there can be some loops if you're not careful with that. At the end of the day, you need to make sure that you're the one with the final say. Like you don't just send this to the panel and then, you know, figure it's on autopilot. This is just a way to like speed run iteration and stress test the ideas ideas before you waste a bunch of time on like building something or scoping out a video or ad strategy or whatever the hell it is. It's like, that's the point, is to just like speed run it. Outside of this like quick and dirty workflow, just to give you an idea, I see the practical application of this being almost limitless. Like from the perspective of content creation, which is like a heavy focus for me, this is like really great. Where I can have one agent looking at like trends, current signal, and then like seeing how to package it, and they all work together, critiquing the different angles and finding what works best based on data, based on my Obsidian vault, based on my history, all that sort of stuff, right? From the perspective of a builder, of like a developer, this is also great. All these different things working together, right? Like you have one agent that's really close to the production context, and then one agent researching the problem, one critic to like look over the actual UX and make sure that it's like properly executed, I guess. Or like security, for example, looking through and reviewing for vulnerabilities, and everybody doing all of that at the same time, rather than you going back after the thing is already done and you've noticed that there's a problem. And going back to the top, like I was saying, this is really strong because it is all done together. They're not being bottlenecked by whatever the perspective of the top parent agent is. I always like to keep you guys sort of informed as to like what I'm working on next, or try to anyway. So the next thing for me is I'm going to try and incorporate this into my Obsidian workspace like natively, and shortcut to auto-populate this sort of like war room with the 4 agents already ready to go. But until then, what I'm doing is some hotkeys. Okay, so we'll go to hotkeys and then just go into terminal, open terminal in new pane. We'll just add a hotkey. So I'm gonna go Control-Alt-T, and that's going to open a new terminal, Control-Alt-T, instead of clicking the split, right? So I could theoretically just do this like 4 times and spin up my agents that way, but I'm going to actually get like a hotkey, like a button for the ribbon, where I could just like, boom, populate this, and it already knows that these are the 4 agents I want to do with the models and thinking and whatnot. So if you want to get started with the Pi harness and this Obsidian Vault setup, you can go to the link in the description where I've got some free resources for you, pardon me. You can also get my full Obsidian setup with the dashboard and the complete OS, the skills, everything that I use in the premium membership on my school community. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Make sure to let me know in the comments what you're actually using this for, and I'll catch you in the next one.